Hey everybody, I'm Benjamin, aka the Terrible Australian of supermarcy.com, and welcome to my video review of Academy Award winning writer-director Brian Helgeland's brand new film Legend, which stars Tom Hardy. So let's get right into it. Now I have to admit though, with the premise of this film, because this film is sort of a biopic on the lives of probably one of Britain's most famous gangster brothers, the Kray twins, Ronnie and Reggie. I must admit, until recently, I'd never even heard of them, so you can forgive my ignorance about that. But as a big fan of crime films, I thought, okay, it's a true story, I like crime films, and I'm a big fan of Tom Hardy, so I'm definitely intrigued to see how this film turns out. And also, Brian Helgeland is a pretty good writer. Like, sure, he's had his misses here and there, but he's a very good writer who has written some great films in the past, like LA Confidential, Mystic River, Man on Fire, and also has directed a couple other stuff as well. But even as a director, I haven't been that much of a fan. I mean, Payback his debut was a really good, fun little actioner, but some of these follow-up ones like A Knight's Tale and The Sin Eater, I wasn't a fan of at all. I still haven't seen his previous film, 42, but I've heard good things about that one, so I'll have to check that one out very soon. So in that regard, I was still looking forward to Legend, just overall. So what did I think of Legend? I hate to admit this, but I really didn't like this film, to be honest. I think the main reason is, and I've seen a lot of crime films, particularly sort of British gangster films, and I kind of feel like this film didn't really offer anything that I haven't seen, many times before. So it kind of has all the hallmarks that you've seen kind of in other British gangster films. It kind of also has a bit of humor in it as well. But at the same time, though, I just wasn't really impressed by it on a script level. So it just sort of stumbles to gangster cliches and plot threads we've seen many times before. And I just didn't find the story that interesting or compelling. To be honest, I found the story rather dull, to be honest. And I was just kind of found it, there was just nothing about this film that I found compelling, and I just found it kind of boring, to be honest. And which is a shame, because this film has a really good cast that they assembled. I mean, besides Tom Hardy, you've got Australian actors Emily Browning, David Thewlis, Christopher Eccleston, Paul Bettany, Taron Egerton, Chazz Palminteri, and they all do fine work in their roles, but a lot of them aren't really given much to do. I mean, even Paul Bettany, who practically is only in the movie for like 10 minutes, and he feels wasted. And also another thing that didn't quite work for me, believe it or not, was Tom Hardy. I mean, I think Tom Hardy is a great actor, but I had problems with his role. I mean, it's a great idea having him play both Reggie and Ronnie Kray, because I think I heard somewhere that, I could be wrong, so forgive me if I could be wrong, that Tom Hardy was supposed to play one of them and they're going to get another actor to play the other, but in the end they decided that Tom should play both roles. And in a way, that's kind of a really good acting challenge for any actor. I mean, to play two twin brothers who in a lot of ways are so different from each other, in personality-wise, so that way would be a great showcase for Tom Hardy as an actor. But to be honest, I was kind of mixed on his performance. I think as Ronnie, which is he's the more sort of sensible, kind of straight-laced brother, I found he did a really good job with that role. I mean, with that character, I should say. But when it came to the part of Reggie, I just found his performance as him rather cartoonish. And I guess in a lot of ways, just how he kind of sort of dove in, sort of the sort of characteristics of the character he sort of went for in his performance, I just found really kind of over the top and unbelievable. And also one main difference between, the two characters that he plays, to sort of make them a bit different, is that is their teeth. Like Reggie has very sort of really nice proper teeth, and like they do look like dentures. I'm just going to put it out there. They look like fake teeth. Well, are fake teeth, of course. But I mean, when you kind of watch it in the film, it's obvious they just look so off-putting, and you think and you know they don't look real at all, and and I can understand that because it kind of having that sort of fake teeth and all that in the film kind of added to his performance, and because it almost kind of like what Marlon Brando did when he put cotton wool balls in his mouth for The Godfather, and you know, affected his speech patterns and whatnot. I mean, that's what Tom Hardy did as well, but I don't know. I just found his performance as Reggie just too cartoonish for my liking, and I don't know. His performance as Reggie didn't really work for me. His role as Ronnie was fine. He was solid, but I don't know. I found the performance too mixed bag, and it didn't help that also, like, with besides the film feeling very cliched and derivative and whatnot, it just had this sort of almost sort of cartoonish vibe about it that didn't really work for me at all, and some of the humor also felt very out of place as well. But it's not a badly made film, but it's just, I feel like writer-director Brian Helgeland couldn't decide like what type of tone he was going for with this film. Like, did he want to play it serious or comedic or kind of both? But it just, the balance of it just didn't quite work for me. In terms of other positive were there any positive aspects of the film I like? I have to say, I thought Emily Browning, who did a really good job with her role. Like, she's pretty much like the girlfriend part, but she definitely brings a lot to the role and adds a bit of layers to the character that made her very compelling to me as a viewer. And if anything, she gives the best performance in the film. I know some people might disagree with that, but yeah, I just found her really compelling as well. And like I said before, and also the supporting cast was fine, even though a lot of them didn't really get much to do. So yeah, overall I didn't really like Legend. It just was just a kind of a boring, derivative, kind of cartoonish British gangster film that didn't really make the sort of the story, the life story of the Kray brothers all that interesting to me as a viewer, and which is a shame because they sound like fascinating people who, or pretty much sound like they are very worthy of having a film based on them. But unfortunately, it's not this film, to be honest. So, if I had to give Legend a rating, I'm giving it 2 stars. I didn't really care for this one at all, to be honest. So, yeah, it's definitely a big disappointment. So, yeah, that's it. That's the end of my video review of Legend. I hope you guys all enjoyed it, and I'll see you all later. See you, everyone.